Hi everyone, I'm Janvi, and today the topic that we are going to discuss is people as resources. Let's get started. The first aim that we are going to discuss and understand is that population is an asset and not a liability. Let us see how. Population becomes human capital when investment is made in the human capital in three ways. First, through education. Second, through training. And third, through medical care. The ability of the population to contribute to the nation's gross national product defines its capabilities, skills, and potential. So the population becomes a human resource when the country's working people, in terms of the productivity, skills, work, and employment, produce and help in contributing to the gross national product. Let us further see how. Human resource is further developed by becoming more educated, healthy, by developing more skills, and then all of this terms in terms of investment comes into the human resource. We call it human capital formation. We can understand that investment in human capital, as we've discussed before, through education, training, and medical cares, yields same return as investment in physical capital, shares, stocks, buildings, land, etc. As investment in asset would always yield a return, investment in population and human resource also will yield a return. It can be understood and turned into a productive asset by investment in human capital. For example, investment in by spending resources on education, spending resources on health, spending money and resources that are available on the training of the human population so that they can improve their skills, they can improve their capabilities, and workers and training in the people for working in industries, for working as agricultural workers and so on can give high rates of return in future as the people who these are invested in tend to learn those skills, those qualities, and those capabilities. Thus, when they come out after that investment, they become assets. Now, exactly for us to understand how exactly does investment work? So let's take a quick look. So for several years of education and skills and experience adds to the quality of the labor. This implies when that a person is given education, is given information, is given skills, that person's personal development and growth and as well as professional development and growth also increases. This leads that one's total productivity enhances, it improves, because through investment and education a person becomes well versed, becomes educated, and becomes healthy and wealthy. This leads to a good and a proper working capital and working human population. The total productivity adds to the economic growth, and this is why, because more educated people get better jobs and they do a good job while completing their tasks. Thus, the productivity is more, the efficiency is more, and the wastage is less. This means that in turn, pays an individual through salary or through payment or wages or so. So their skills, their developments, their achievements are rewarded through salaries, wages, bonuses, which gives them motivation to move forward and do a good job in all the other jobs as well. So this is how investment works. So let's just sum it up in a small sentence. So what exactly happens is that a person's investment is done through education, health, and training. So once the person is invested in with a time period of, let us say, maybe 5 to 6 years. So what happens then? After 5 to 6 years, with education, health, and training, the person develops skills, the person develops educated lessons, the person develops capabilities and abilities to do their job well. So that is the return of the yield in the investment, because they become a boon to the society. Now, let us understand what are the various activities that have been classified in the economy. And there are three main sectors. First is the primary sector: agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, fishing, poultry, farming, mining, and quarrying are some of the examples of primary sector activities. Second is secondary sector activities. Some of the examples of secondary sector activities are manufacturing, construction, and utilities. The third sector is the tertiary sector. And in this sector, the examples and the activities that are carried out in this sector are communication, banking, education, health, tourism, services, insurance, and so on. The activities that add value to national income, that is gross national product, as we have discussed in the previous topics, is that two types. One, they are known as economic activities, and they are classified into two types: non-market activities and market activities. Let us understand what these are. So market activities can be defined as the activities that involve remuneration, that is payment or cash, to anyone who performs them. That is, you do a job, you do your job, and by the end of the month you get salary. So such activities are known as market activities, and they are performed for pay or profit, like just as we discussed. So these include production of goods, services, including government services. Let's take some examples of marketing activities. For example, I am a manufacturing company, and when I manufacture goods, I manufacture them for profits. I manufactured the goods so that I can get the money for manufacturing them. So my activity falls under market activity. And suppose I am a person doing a software job. So when I complete my work, my contribution is through service, and that is resulted and given a remuneration through payment or wages or salaries. That is also a market activity, as I am doing that for just for the payment and for the job experience. Now let us move on to non-market activities. Non-market activities are those activities that are in the production just for self-consumption. Like I produce milk at my house, and I produce the milk, but instead of selling it, I consume the milk myself. I do not give it to anybody else. Thus, I am self consuming. I am producing the milk for my sustenance and for my maintenance. Thus, they are known as non market activities. Let us move on to the next topic. Why is education so important? It's a very common question that people are generally faced with in this period of their life, saying, why is education so important? Why is being educated or having skills so important? Let us look into why. First, the reason is that because education helps an individual to make a better use of the economic opportunities available for him and her. Education makes you capable, education makes you informed. It helps you understand why the things are the way they are. It helps you understand what should we do or how should we do things so that we also remain informed. Thus, education helps or gives you the boost that you need in the form of knowledge, in the form of experience. And education and skill are the two major determinants of earning in any of the market, let it be an individual market or let it be an industrial market. Because without education and without skill, you cannot sustain in a job. You cannot sustain because you do not know how to do the job, you do not know why or how it's done. Thus, to understand those very simple and basic questions and jobs, we need education to help us become informed and to help us gain experience. Now it's quiz time. So the questions that I have for you is: number one, what is human capital formation? Number two, what is investment? Number three, what are the categories of the sectors of a market? Number four, how many economic activities are there? Please name them. And number five, the last question, which activities come under non-market activities? Thank you so much for your time and for listening to this video.